Let me tell you one of the most overlooked problems in a relationship. Goes flies right under the radar. That actually is the core source to the problems in your relationship versus what you think they are. And it actually has nothing to do with you and your partner. Even though you may have a lot of beef, smoke, or conflict with your partner, right? You guys keep going at it, even though the core issue has nothing to do with you to them at all. And it's simply you're not happy enough in your own individual life and you're taking it out on your partner. You're miserable at work. You hate your job, hate your boss, maybe, or you always feel distressed with the work that you do. You're burnt out. You're maxed out all the time. You never have energy, right? Or it's always something depressing that you have to deal with at work, or, it's not fulfilling to you because you're not doing something that you love, right? And over time, wear and tear gets the better of you. And so when you come home, you're snappy more than you typically would be, right? You're a little more irritated than usual. Or maybe you keep getting into it with your best friend or that really close family member that means the world to you, but you guys are on odds right now. You're on the outs, right? You're not on the same page and you're just distance between the two of you. And it's really bothering you, really stressing you, and really painful for you. And you're not realizing how much that's working through you in your interactions with your partner. Now, track with me here, because I can understand how this may seem far-fetched to say, oh, no, I have my issues with my partner. And maybe it is to some degree, but it's really, really easy to have something that's more light on the surface that is not really intense with your partner, but yet your reaction is because it's being fueled from something that's of a deeper wound, a deeper concern, a deeper issue that you haven't fully, processed subconsciously. So you're subconsciously trying to do something to vent that energy, even down to maybe you picked up a lot of weight that you can't get off of you. You don't like it. You're not liking the way you look right now, maybe hair loss or whatever is going on. And, on a daily, it's not something that you consciously think I'm going to be just upset about all the time, but it does bother you. You try not to let it bother you, but if it hasn't been dealt with, you haven't fully processed it and brought it to a healed space, or, made a decision about it and let it go, or just started working on it and just accept it where you are for now until you get better down the road, then it's undoubtedly going to come out wherever it can with the things or people closest to you. See, we often fail to realize is, although, yes, we may have really close relationships to a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, cousin, whoever, right? Even a friend that's like family, it's still never as close as it is with a significant other. Because, yeah, you might, have grown up together and be really tight, but there's still a little small barrier of things you probably don't fully share with them, or they don't fully get to see because they never live with you. They're never literally a part of your everyday world. When you wake up and when you go to sleep, they don't see it all. And so when that's the case, you don't always expose it all. And there's a natural or, given sense of distance created between you and that other person. Yeah, you guys may fall out, but you can easily go to your home, they go to their home, and you don't see each other again for days or whatever, right? They're not a huge necessity to your everyday operations to just live as a person and get things done you need to get done for yourself and your general everyday happiness. So therefore, there's less stake there, right? To where you reach out to them when you're ready to hang out and they want to hang out with you, but then you guys have your own completely separate lives. See, when you're with your partner, your lives are rarely to never fully separate like that. So they're always in the mix. They become almost an extension of you. I mean, really, that's what it is. Your partner is an extension of who you are. And with them being an extension, they're kind of connected to you. But the thing is, whenever you're going through stuff, right, that's painful, hurtful, and you're like really struggling through something, you don't beat yourself up more. I mean, some people do internally, but you can't really talk at yourself. You don't really scream at yourself. You don't get snappy at yourself. You may just be in a bad mood, or you might just be irritable, but it would seem or feel crazy to start attacking yourself verbally and saying things aloud to yourself. But your partner, that extension of you, you can actually talk to them. They're outside of you. And so even though you don't consciously have something that you're trying to focus towards them about your own personal issues, your brain will make sense out of finding a way to target them for the lightest of things, or creating something out of the sand, right? Making something up where there's nothing there, just so you can vent that energy. And effectively, you start turning your partner into an emotional punching bag. Now, if there were any pre-existing issues between you and your partner, you just added a whole bunch of fuel in the fire, right? You just added steroids to that situation to where it's much worse than it ever had to be, or it becomes a lot more non-workable, right? It's almost impossible to find a solution because deep down, there's more issues that work with inside of you that won't allow you to have a full resolve with your partner, because without having something to yell at them about or be irritable towards them with, right, you have no way to vent that energy. So you subconsciously will keep sabotaging or keeping the issue going, or never be satisfied, always be unhappy, and keep it stirring that pot so you can keep venting this energy from these unhealed wounds. And since you're not consciously just trying to do this, some people are lightly aware that they're doing this, but since you're not usually trying to do this intentionally, you're never thinking about where the actual issue is. You're just thinking, what do I need to do with my partner to keep going to war with them? And some part of you feels good that you're getting this energy out, that you're getting to express this. So it feels like you're working through it with them, or you're, continuing to fight the good fight towards whatever the issue is and everything else. But really, all you're doing is putting band-aids on wounds that need your full attention. Then what happens? New issues stir up in the relationship. It starts to create this normacy of just always negativity, pessimism, to where now your partner more likely starts reacting to you, and they start matching your energy, getting in the same headspace because they're trying to defend themselves now. So then they got to fight fire with fire now. You guys start doing this thing back and forth, and it becomes this non-ending cycle, all because you're not happy with your life. This is why it's so crucial to understand that we have 6 core human needs, that it is our job to make sure we're meeting those needs sustainably in a way that serves us first on our own, before we ever expect our partner to come in and be an active contribution to those needs. Because you are still an individual coming together as one. Your partner fell in love with you because they loved who you were. So you have to continue to keep being a happy, healthy person for your relationship to operate the right way. So the moment you start putting all that blame on your partner, all that weight on them, and attacking them for things, whenever you haven't dotted your I's, crossed your T's, and squared off all the parts of your life that needs to be in harmony for you to be happy in your relationship, you're failing yourself. See, oftentimes we do too much separation of our personal life, our professional life, and then our romantic life, but they all play off of each other. If you're miserable at work, you're going to bring that misery home to your partner. Now they have to deal with that energy. If you're not happy with yourself, something personally with your body or what have you, or where you feel like you're not accomplishing in life or whatever, you're going to somewhat kick that energy off to your partner, or they're going to feel it. It's going to be an uncomfortable environment for them to be around. Or if you're always having issues with really close loved ones or friends, then until that's resolved, you're going to be going through a saddened space, depressive space, or maybe an irritated or agitated space with your partner in proximity. And they're most likely going to catch some strays, right? Some stray bullets, stray fire towards them that wasn't intended for them, but it's going to feel like it was because you're probably going to say something directed at them, but it's not really stemming from them. So it's so important for you to be able to identify the signs that really say your relationship issues are really personal issues and not to do with your partner. So the first clear sign is when you feel really irritated or distant from your partner for no clear reason. It's one thing if you have an actual reason to be, but if you notice that you're feeling this way and you're distant from them and all these things, but you can't pinpoint anything they've actually done for you to feel this way, this is a huge indicator. Or even if you do have a reason that you do feel a way towards them, if you can say with your own logic that the reason you're feeling something towards them is not, that deep to be to the level that you are towards them, huge sign. And sign 2 piggybacks off of that last one, where if you notice you're really snappy or you keep snapping at your partner over otherwise small things that you normally would not react that intensely about, this is another huge indicator that it's not about them, it's about you. It's something going on you need to figure out or face that's going on inside of your vessel in your own individual world in the relationship. A third huge one is when you pick fights or emotionally withdraw from your partner altogether when something's feeling off in your life, right? Whenever you notice something going off in your own little world and you find yourself starting issues where there wasn't issues with your partner, or you find yourself just shutting down on them for no reason that they have done anything to deserve. Or the fourth biggest giveaway is when your partner feels like they can't do anything right. Either they're showing it through their body language, their energy, the way they start responding to you, or maybe they say it to you directly. I feel like I'm always wrong, or I can't do anything right for you. That's usually a huge indicator that the issue is not fully or at all lying with them and is lying with you, and something that you're struggling with internally that they're becoming the punching bag for. And again, this is not to make you the bad guy or a bad person, right? This happens because your partner tends to be the closest person to you in your life. So therefore, they're subconsciously the safest person to you in your life. And so with that role, sometimes they catch those strays, they take hits from your stress and unhappiness unintentionally, right? But it doesn't make it okay. But it's not because you just want to beat them up. It's because they're the person closest to you that you release everything on. The first thing you got to do to break this pattern and fix this is identify the root cause to the issues that you're having and not the surface one that you think has to do with your partner. And the best way to start this is by asking yourself the question of, why am I unhappy in my life outside of my relationship? You have to train your brain to focus on excluding your partner from the equation so it can focus on other sources to what you're feeling and what you're going through. Second, communicate instead of taking it out on your partner. Meaning, once you identify what the root could be, go to them and just be vulnerable, open up, express yourself, right? Hey, I'm really stressed at work and it's a lot to take on and I really don't want it to impact us. So forgive me if I get snappy at you sometimes. It's not towards you. It's not because of you. I'm just going through this. And if anything, ask them, hey, can you help me here? Or any tips you think you can provide? Anything you can do to help relieve the stress, or tell them what they can do to help relieve the stress, or just let them in on what's going on so that they already have some awareness and they can actually try to be proactive towards helping you. Anything to help you focus on trying to work on the real problem to solve that instead of fighting a battle of problems that don't really exist. And third, take responsibility and accountability for your happiness, right? Don't expect your partner to have this magical fix for the happiness that you're not providing to yourself. So this means you have to develop better stress relieving, techniques and practices, right? Better emotional regulation, better outlets, things that you need to do to regulate for your mental and emotional well-being and your physical, right? And a lot of that's going to be building your emotional intelligence and your emotional maturity, coming up with solutions or answers for when you're feeling certain levels of stress or you're feeling that pressure and that weightedness, what do you need to do to release that's healthy and serving, right? What would be a healthy way to vent that energy instead of going to make your partner the punching bag to get it out, because it's not actually helping you or them. And if anything, is sabotaging your relationship at the end of the day. Because more often than not, in more relationships than people give credit for, your relationship isn't actually the problem, but your unhappiness absolutely might be. You fix that and the love in your relationship will start to thrive much more, I promise. And if you need help with your own individual happiness in your relationship so you don't wind up sabotaging it, right, and finding the root core issues that you're really dealing with and stop making your partner that punching bag, then email or DM me the word coaching and we'll get to work as long as you're truly ready to put that work in. If you're not ready for one-on-one coaching, don't have the time or the space, I get it, then at least email or DM me the word revival to join my Relationship Revival Hub community, where you can learn the same things I teach my clients one-on-one at your own pace, on your own time. Either way, do something to get in the race. Let's get it.